Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Best Ball Breakfast. I'm Peter Overzet. As always, every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern, we try to win $1,001 drafting on Underdog Fantasy in their Best Ball Mania 2 contest. Although it's hard to do on these Monday morning shows because all of you guys are in the draft, sniping me. Who do we got out here this morning? We got Harbs. What's up, Harbs? How you doing, buddy? We got Willis. Best Ball Monday. Let's go. That's right. We are going to hop into a draft. I've been doing a bunch of the slow drafts on Best Ball Mania. Most of the live drafts I've been doing have been these ones on the streams. I'm enjoying the slow drafts just right now, getting to have a little bit more time to kind of think through my structure and set up stacks and stuff. But you can't beat a live draft. Let's see. I see you guys see the new, it doesn't show when I pull it up on screen, but we do have new emotes for those of you who are members on the channel. There's a join button down there. You can either become a part of the randomizer tier or the club tier, get access to those sweet, sweet underdog emojis. What's up, Michael? How's it going? What's up, Belair? There you go. Yeah, the crypto bounce. You know, people have been in the dumps lately. I did check it this morning. It seems like it's doing a little better. But that's why fantasy is the ultimate distraction, right? You know, right when the crypto markets start not looking so good, then we just, throw ourselves into fantasy. That's all we have to do. All right, let's hop into a Best Ball Mania. Let's get to this here. And obviously, when I set up the private drafts for like the randomizer shows, we can get everyone in there. If this one is only one away from being filled, it might be a smaller crew. So we'll just see here. It looks like we have spots for one more. No, we have spots for a few more of you guys who want to jump in here. We are going to be off to the races here soon. I will try to remember. Oh, yeah. Lots of familiar faces here. We got Alejandro. We got RKFD. We got Chris. We got Willis. We got Corey Igloo. We got Casey. We got DFS Texas. And we got Blair. Okay, this is a classic Peter Overzet friends and family draft. I know how these goes. But I did get the influencer number 1 pick. I did just notice that. Congrats. That's right, guys. Pete, we're back to back. I know this is our usual thing here. Underdog BBN is a great inflationary hedge. Exactly. Are you Epic Daddy? Is that on here? Geez, everyone got in this one. Look at this. This is going to be brutal. I can already tell this is going to be absolutely brutal. I do get the 101 influencer pick. Very nice. I've heard some people, I think it was Amico who was claiming he wanted 3rd round reversal on Underdog. Because it is a huge advantage to still get the 101 and then have the options of what fall to you in the late 2nd, early 3rd. I think the draft Amico posted yesterday, someone is able to start Christian McCaffrey, DeAndre Swift, and CEH. Yeah, and it's tough. It's one of the things like when Sean was writing about zero RB, and I think in this context, he was talking more about managed leagues, but what happens is the 101 has such an advantage because everyone's chasing those 2nd tier running backs. So you end up actually just pushing down even the best wide receivers further to the person who drafted out of the 101 hole. So the rich get richer while people scramble to catch up with them in the same structure, which is obviously one of the pitfalls in trying to chase running back production when it's not there. So we'll see how this one shakes out. You guys are a sharp room, though. I could see myself taking another running back or two just because these drafts that I do with you guys are generally so wide receiver heavy. I will try to remember to show the board here. Feel free to remind me if I forget. Let's see here. Oh, Frankie ended up in the wrong draft. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, it's hard to control the variables on the Best Ball Mania, but I mean, this is about as close to a friends and family draft as we can get. Is there anyone in here that isn't watching the stream right now? Matt's in a slow draft with me. I think I recognize your handle. You're Mizzle Fries or something like that, right, Matt? Yeah, it is fun hopping in the slow drafts because it's pretty rare that I don't recognize at least 1 or 2 usernames. I just hopped in a slow draft last night. I saw Smiz was in that one. Normally see 1 or 2 of you guys in the slow draft streets. I mean, we're still the early adopters here. I wasn't drafting on Underdog this early last year. I don't think I was. Yeah, definitely wasn't. So, those of us here now, not the general fantasy public hasn't gotten the bug yet, quite like we have. Corey's doubling down. I think it was last week. Corey drafted four running backs, and he's here to prove that it is a dominant strategy. Let's see here. Sniper maybe isn't watching. Yeah, maybe Sniper is our lone. That would be ironic if the one guy who wasn't watching the stream to snipe was named Sniper. Yes, you guys have now found the counselor emojis. Figure you get that one loaded in. It has been ages since I shared a counselor post on Twitter. I think it kind of lost its charm for me. I do like the emoji, but something about the counselor becoming this crazy anti-vaxxer kind of took the fun out of it. Oh yeah, Jonathan's in that one with me. The back-to-back with Smiz. How many Best Ball Mania entries do you think you'll have by August or similar underdog tourneys if this one fills? Yeah, I expect them to launch a $5 Best Ball Mania at some point this summer, similar to what they did last year. Honestly, right now, I don't know if it's too ambitious, but I would like to max out the 25. I'm not going to force it, but I think right now I'm trying to keep a combination of like 3 to 4 slow drafts going on at once, and then mixing in the occasional live drafts. I haven't even looked at what that pace would be, where it would get me at if I stayed at that pace. But I would like to max it if possible, if time allows. I legitimately enjoy drafting a bunch of these, and having like 4 to 5 slow drafts going on at once seems to be about the sweet spot for me. And then I remember last year, like right before the season started, I mean, I was just blasting off, like doing so many drafts. So who knows? The $5 price point, I think, will be nice too, for getting more people willing to dip their toes in. And I should say, if you guys haven't signed up for Underdog, which obviously most of you have because we're playing, but they are having the $25 bonus. If you haven't signed up, the Best Ball Mania with $1 million up top, $25 entry. So if you deposit, I think minimum deposit's 10, but they will just give you $25 bonus cash. So you could theoretically sign up and then draft with us next Monday for free. And of course, you got to use promo code Pete when you do that. Let's see what's on the board for me when we come back here. I have a couple picks here. Alejandro is on the clock. Damn it. I was hoping I could sneak Kittle there. That is not going to be the case. Let's see here. What do I want to do? Do I want to take the DeAndre Swift, Clyde Edwards-Helaire start that I saw? Or, you know what? I'm going to mix it up. I've been liking some of these running back values that I've been seeing, like in the pockets in the 5th and 6th round, in the 7th and 8th round, and then even some in the 12th, 13th round. And I don't want to lock myself in. I've noticed if I go 2 running backs here, if I grab the Swift and Edwards-Helaire, even though I have them higher up in the ranks, then I feel like I box myself out of getting those other values, because then I'm really not going to be taking running backs hardly at all the rest of the draft. So I'm going to try to get a core of players that I haven't started to draft with here with Calvin and Keenan. Let's see. Damn, so thankful. Felt like Corey was about to auto pick Hopkins from me. Yeah, Harbs. I've been messing with different kind of constructions to start. The 3 running backs, 2 running backs, and hammering it. But knowing this draft with you guys that ends up being a little wide receiver heavy, I feel good at prioritizing those early. I am a little tilted that I didn't get a tight end though. I would have liked that. I'm pretty surprised. Sherman, are you in the chat? Taking Darren Waller over Kittle. I think that's a bit of a hot take for me. I like Waller. I'm coming around on him. For some reason, I had like a bias against Waller where I just didn't want to acknowledge him as a top tier tight end. I think I'm coming around on that, but I have not come around to taking him over George Kittle. That seems like a bridge too far to me. All right. Maybe I'm in the minority here. Maybe this isn't such a hot take. Maybe Waller's best season is better than Kittle's best season. Yeah, I believe that. Oh, wow. This is apparently a thing. All right. I think this is an exploitable thing here too. I think the other reason I mean, I love stacking Kittle with Trey Lance way more than I get excited about stacking Waller. Not that you have to stack Waller in that case, but Trey Lance is still on that sweet spot of your second quarterback and getting the stack with your tight end. I do like Kittle. And I just like that. I mean, the 49ers are going to score so many more points than the Raiders this year that I'm still more willing to bet on that offense. I feel like the pie can grow there more for 49ers just based on how much they score. Whereas with Waller, you truly are banking on that insane volume. And I think it's a good bet to make. I mean, the competition for targets there is pretty poor. So I get that case for sure, but it's not, I want to bet on the 49ers offense way more than I want to do that with the Raiders. And in general too, with the Best Ball Mania stuff, when we're pushing ourselves towards stacks, I'm wanting to make bets on offenses. So for me, I get that it's close, but I'm going to continue to break ties there in favor of Kittle, and I'll probably be priced out of Waller for a good chunk of the drafting season if that continues to hold. Pro Football Focus, those guys over there with the most clickbaity Twitter account I've ever seen. You got to love those guys over at Pro Football Focus. My guy, Ian Hartitz. We're going to have to get him back on the randomizer draft. Had a very fun randomizer draft with Ian last year. Let's see here. What are you guys thinking? I just think one of Debo, Ayuk, and Kittle is going to faceplant. Yeah, I don't know if faceplant is maybe the right way to describe it. I understand the whole too many mouths to feed, but I don't know. I'd rather work under the assumption that the offense could score so many more points with Trey Lance unlocking it in a way that Jimmy Garoppolo never could. We've never seen Shanahan really take the training wheels off of that offense. So if Trey Lance is good, I think he could easily support all three of them. Not in like a every week all of them are smashing, but in like a Dallas Cowboys type of way where, two of Amari, Lamb, and Gallup are having big weeks every week. I think that's certainly on the table. Let's check out some of your guys' constructions here. Belair here at the turn started Eckler, Mixon, Evans. Let's see what he does here. DFS Texas, Cam Akers, Chubb, Godwin. All right, the classic, the approved structure so far this year seems to be the two running backs to start. We got Casey here, Zeke and Aaron Jones, followed by Lamb setting up his Dallas stack. Epic Daddy, Jonathan Taylor, and then hammering AJ and Terry. We got Sniper going with the 0 RB build. I love that start. Diggs, Adams, A-Rob. We got Corey going Tyreek, then Najee, Sanders, just flipping that two running back start on its head a little bit. Willis, Tyreek, Hopkins, Amari. Can't complain about that. Ooh, Eric taking Jamar Chase. That's definitely early than I've seen Chase go here. Although his draft stock continues to rise, it seems like. What do we got? Chris going with the Kamara, Swift, Metcalf, like that. Henry, Jefferson, Thomas. Michael Thomas, I saw the other day, is my highest owned player in Best Ball Mania drafts so far, which kind of surprised me, but not really, just because I do think I've started so many drafts with two running backs, and then Michael Thomas just seems like an insane value as your first wide receiver off the board. Sherman, Saquon, Waller, Gibson, Alejandro, Cook, Kittle, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Hard to kind of have bad starts in the first few rounds of these. Lots of good players available here. High T start for 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Yep. Lots of running backs. Yeah, I'm with you, Nick. Zero chance I'm taking Waller over Kittle. Yeah, the PSM model. Yeah, and I think we're just so victim to recency bias. Kittle got hurt, didn't have the monster season last year. Waller did have the monster season, and the sentiment just changes where I don't really think the thesis for Kittle has changed much at all. And he was regularly going in the mid-second round, early second round last year. And if anything, the offense is going to be better and just got a quarterback upgrade. So I don't mind pushing Waller up based on his performance, but I think docking Kittle relative to last year's ADP doesn't really make sense to me. I've been drafting a little bit of OBJ. I'm kind of starting to buy that the Browns could be really good, and they're an easy stack too. Like getting the Baker's cheap and Landry's cheap, like you can pretty easily get that. And then you also open it up for Hooper. If you're going with a 0 RB build, getting Kareem Hunt there. I have a decent amount of Brown stuff. I mean, I know they're going to be run heavy, but again, if this offense takes a little bit of a leap, in the betting market seem to really like the Browns right now. So I don't know. I like investing in the Browns. All right. This is a gross spot in this draft. I can already tell when the best available players are Josh Jacobs and David Montgomery. Yeah, this is really gross. I don't like this at all. I really don't like this. Tight end. This is too early. I don't want to take Mark Andrews here. I don't want to take any of these running backs. Ugh, so gross. God, I hate drafting with you guys. It's really so gross. I'm probably going to end up, I hate this. This is such a gross spot. I guess the Piper has finally come for the team out of the 1 slot. You guys are waiting on quarterbacks. So you go, man, this is truly gross. I think I might just have to reach on my quarterback and tight end here. This is really gross, guys. I really don't like it. I don't want to take Deontay Johnson here. I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach on my Keenan stack because he's not going to make it back to me. And then I'm going to grab Andrews. I really hate this spot. I don't want any of these running backs. I don't want to grab any of these wide receivers here. I hate it. Thanks. I hate it, guys. I absolutely hate it. I will not grab Josh Jacobs, and I will not thank you later. That'd be a long time to have to wait to thank you. I don't see the appeal for Josh Jacobs. I didn't see the appeal last year when everyone was drafting him in the late first, early second, and I don't see the appeal now. Although at least he's gotten cheaper. Yeah, I mean I have 0. I think that's my first share of Justin Herbert. And honestly, I haven't been reaching much in these. I've been taking, but that board texture there was just so unbelievably gross. It's legitimately not fun drafting with you guys. Drafting out of the 101 spot is supposed to be all peaches and roses, and it's supposed to be all great. And then I get stuck in that gross spot. I did see someone say, no, I'm still Andrews over Pitts personally. I do think, yeah, I understand that there. I could have done, maybe I should. That's a good point. I could have gone Pitts to stack with Ridley. Maybe I could have broken that tie. I still just have a hard time seeing Pitts over Andrews unless Julio gets traded, which apparently could be a thing. I think someone suggested going with Lamar. What did someone say up here? Oh, well, Grant's still talking about Josh Jacobs. I mean, he's not going to catch passes, and now he's splitting early down work with Kenyon Drake. So, I mean, I think the ADP fall is completely justified. The backfield, I mean, it's one thing if you're in a two-way backfield, like, say, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. It's a completely other thing if you're in a three-way where you're not going to catch passes, and Kenyon Drake, I assume, will be used a little bit around the goal line too. It seems like a total mess. I prefer taking Drake. I feel like if you want to invest in that in a super ambiguous backfield, just take the cheaper one. I mean, Drake's going what? 9th, 10th, 11th round? He's going late. Yeah, Corey grabbing his first share of Josh Jacobs. I mean, I get it. At a certain point, there's some meat on the bone there, but I am just not a Josh Jacobs guy. Yeah, I could have done the Lamar and Andrews as well. Yeah, I think I wanted to get a stack with Herbert and Keenan. I don't have one of those. I guess any of them I could have justified. The Pitts, could have gone the Pitts route, could have gone the Lamar route. Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the point, right? Gruden's crazy. I just think if you have that ambiguity, and we really don't know how the touches are going to be distributed between Jacobs and Kenyon Drake. I mean, is anyone confident enough that Jacobs is just better than Drake. I'm not. So I don't know. I'd just rather have the cheaper one if I don't have confidence in how that backfield's going to shake out. Let's see here. What do we got going? All right. Eric is hammering wide receivers. And I will blow up his spot here as he's setting up the Joe Burrow stack. Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd. That's the rule, guys. If you guys all get to watch what I'm doing in real time, I get to blow up your spots. Eric Belair going for the Joe Burrow stack. What's DFS Texas doing? Chubb, Odell. Okay, he's setting up his Brown stack there. KZ does get his Dak to go with CeeDee Lamb and Zeke. I don't mind Myles Gaskin there in the 6th. That seems very nice as a second running back. Sniper finally drafting running backs. I think 0 RB right now is very viable with that build. 4 wide receivers to start, Mike Davis and Kareem Hunt as your first 2 starting running backs. That seems perfectly okay to me. Let's see here. I'm going to start taking a look at my options, even though as the snipers come out to play. Yeah, it is kind of gross with Lamar still being here. Probably messed that one up. I probably messed that one up. I don't like being forced to reach at the turn. Yeah, that's right. I'll blow up your guys' spots. I'll see what you guys are working on. All right, Jonathan does take Lamar there to go with, okay, unstacked, but nice value there for Lamar. Cortland Sutton goes. And Deebo Samuel goes. Okay, this is an interesting spot here. You know what? I think maybe we will go double tight end here. We'll set up the stack, and we will be done with tight ends for the draft. I think we will do that. Could have taken Kyle Pitts. He falls. That is one nice thing here. And then I'm also going to get a share of Travis Etienne. Definitely way past ADP at this point. And I don't mind him at all as my second running back, hoping he makes a very big push down the stretch. So that is what we are going to do. Yeah, the Denver wide receivers are tough. I do still like Cortland Sutton at that price. I mean, it's almost a 2-round discount on what he was last year. How soon is too soon for 2 QBs? I mean, if you read what Leone and Herzig have been saying, those guys like getting 2 quarterbacks in the top 10, especially if one of them has rushing upside. So I think if you're completing stacks and stuff, I think it can make sense. I've normally been doing like, not in this draft. Actually, yes, in this draft. Like I'll normally pair a Justin Herbert with a Trey Lance, a Trevor Lawrence, one of those guys, and then call it a day. That's the one nice thing about getting that elite quarterback is I do think it allows you to kind of pick your pocket later in the draft. I think I did a draft where I had Kyler Murray and then Zach Wilson was my second and only quarterback, which I know is risky, but I feel like with all these things, you're just trying to bank on that one specific outcome. And I like freeing up that roster spot to use at wide receiver. I hope it's tight end premium. I believe it is not, unless Underdog changed the rules on me overnight. Yeah, I don't have a ton of ETN. That's one of them too, where it's like at the 4-5 turn, I felt like I was reaching. And then at the 6-7 turn, I'm happy to kind of scoop some value. Like I would rather have ETN fall into my lap in round at 7-1 than have to reach for Josh Jacobs at 4-12. Does Judy go before Sutton if Teddy wins the job? That's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that. I assume you mean just as like a schematic fit for Sutton being more of a downfield player and Teddy, just working over the middle. I could see that argument. I would still prefer Sutton. But I do like Judy a lot. I mean, if we've learned anything in fantasy, targeting second-year wide receiver breakouts, guys that showed some promise in year one, either on volume or on efficiency. Those are the guys we're trying to target to make that leap. It's the Jerry Judys that can go from round 8 wide receivers to being consensus round 3 picks next year. That's typically when we see it. Obviously, the quarterback situation makes that a little messy. But yeah, I'm still Sutton over Judy regardless, but I don't mind that thought process for bumping him up a smidge. How soon is too soon for 4 QBs? You're going to have to ask Corey that. I'm still waiting to read Corey's why you should draft 4 quarterbacks in Best Ball article. If any of you take Gallup, you're a sniper, and the FBI will be called. I like KZ getting out ahead. Oh, you did get him. So he set up the super stack there. Zeke, CeeDee Lamb, Dak, and Michael Gallup. Well done, KZ. Hey, Pete, were you on either ETN versus Davis? Oh, and Gaskin. I went ETN, but thought hard about Gaskin. That one's really tough. I'm kind of bearish on Mike Davis. When I play the season out in my mind, which is what I do every night before I go to bed, I lay in bed and I look at the ceiling and like a beautiful mind, I see the whole season play out. I just have a hard time imagining Mike Davis just crushing weeks 14 through 17. I just don't see him. Even when Christian McCaffrey was out, we saw things that Carolina was starting to do, give Curtis Samuel touches, that it was Armah, giving him touches. I just am not quite buying the Mike Davis full-on breakout. I really do feel like ETN could be one of those. He could be this year's Jonathan Taylor, where things are really slow going, but then gets the increased touches as the season goes on. And then he's a really nice hammer play for you during the playoffs. So I think right now I prefer ETN over Davis. However, the Gaskin one is tough because Gaskin could have that blend, right, of getting work right out of the gate. And then just through inertia, just through good play, could just hold on to that starting job for the whole year. And assuming that they deploy their running back similarly to how they did last year, I don't see why Gaskin couldn't be a bell cow for a good chunk of the season. So I think right now for me, I would go Gaskin, ETN, Mike Davis, but I think I don't have any supreme confidence on any of those. I think they're all similar probability hit rates in that range, and I like mixing them up. But I have found myself skewing away from Mike Davis more, but I still have a decent amount of Kareem Hunt and Myles Gaskin in that range. Normally, ETN's not there when I'm doing that. All right, I need to head back to the board here and figure out what I'm doing. Let's see here. Jack still trying to push his Gaskin hate. He can't articulate it. Jack, we need Jack to cool down. He's still running a little hot from his Knicks experience last night. Shaming people with only 200 followers on Twitter. Jack. This is another spot on the board that I do not like. And I think I'm going to be forced to grab some wide receivers. This actually works out pretty well, though, because I'll complete my double stack with Herbert and Keenan. And I'm also going to grab Michael Pittman here, a guy that I haven't been getting a ton, but I like him a lot. My guy Eric Beimfohr has been hyping up the Colts, and the Colts are also very easy to stack, which gives me some options as I come back. So I'm going to hammer 2 wide receivers here because, as usual, wide receivers flying off the shelves in this draft. Yes, I forgot. I forgot the photo of the thighs going around. How dare I be bearish on Mike Davis when he has tree trunks for thighs? Yeah, I mean with ETN, it's a playoff play. I'm hoping with Christian McCaffrey going to be locked and loaded there, and I can fill out some later production through some of these running backs I take, and then ETN, you're just breaking for that, or hoping for that big late season breakout. And I don't think there's a ton of risk at that cost at 7-1. I mean, we think of where Jonathan Taylor was going in drafts at the end of last year. I mean, Jonathan Taylor was creeping up into the late second. And I'm not saying ETN is Jonathan Taylor, very different types of running backs, different systems they're going into. But I think there's some nice upside at ETN at 7-1 there. Has Kareem Hunt been traded yet? You'll have to ask Jack that question. Not worried about Matt Ryan making it back to UP. I honestly am not. I don't necessarily think of stacks in that exact way, especially that I have Justin Herbert. I know I'm going to only be taking one other quarterback, and there's going to be a couple other stacks that I won't mind if I need to. I could even go the Darnold route with Christian McCaffrey and then grabbing another Carolina guy. I can grab Carson Wentz to go with Michael Pittman. So I don't really sweat that. And that's kind of the flexibility that grabbing that elite quarterback gives you. Whereas, say, if I didn't take Herbert there, and now I'm looking like, okay, my first quarterback, I'm needing to complete some of these stacks, then I think I start to panic a little bit. But yeah, I'm not worried. Matt Ryan would just be a bonus because I'm still making a bet on that offense, right? Like, just because I don't have Matt Ryan doesn't mean my Ridley Pitts stack is dead. I still want that team to score a lot of points in the playoffs. Yeah, but there's some value to the fact that ETN was Urban's first round pick as a coach, so he's going to feed him touches. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Urban Meyer now seems like one of those guys where we can't trust anything he says. He seems so all over the place. I know there's some coaches where you can kind of read into what they say and maybe there's some signal there, but Urban Meyer seems a little bit like a bullshit artist to me at this point with all of his stuff he's saying. So if he's saying that about ETN and wanting to get him touches, I think that's a bonus. But as we've seen, right, like the Chiefs were in love with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and then he wasn't performing as well as they wanted, and his role was kind of minimized as the season went on. So ultimately, it's going to be how these guys play, and if they can force the hand of the coaches giving them more touches. I could easily see a season for ETN that's similar to DeAndre Swift, right? Where he flashes, we're all begging for him to get more touches, and the coach is still wanting to give, James Robinson, Carlos Hyde, Tim Tebow, my guy LaVisca touches. Like I could see it play out in both ways, which I think is the whole point of all this stuff too, is not getting overconfident in our individual player takes and mixing it up. I'm not going to draft ETN every single time there. And I think this is my first share, maybe my second share of him. Let's see here. Yeah, for sure. But I think the thing too with like the stacks is like, if you go in with like that mindset, then you are setting yourself up to get burned. If it's like, okay, I'm grabbing Mike Davis here, then I'm grabbing Pitts, and then someone doesn't draft it. I'd rather be more flexible with it. So the snipes don't derail your build as much. But yeah, you're making bets on these offenses. But my thing about Davis wasn't about how the offense, if the offense is crushing, he would. It's more that I don't think he is going to, by weeks 14, be this bell cow back. I don't know whether it's through injury, whether through just performance issues. I don't like betting on veteran running backs. He just doesn't have the pedigree of a running back who I think is going to get better as the season goes on. Maybe that's me being naive. I'm just not as hyped on Mike Davis. I think in general, we just get burned trying to chase volume at running back. And I get the volume case for him, but it makes me a little queasy. All right. What's going on with wide receiver here? Wide receiver is getting pretty gross. I do like a few of these running back spots here. Okay, I was going to take Gabriel Davis. That's gross. God, you guys leaving Leonard Fournette here. That's gross. I don't have any Zach Moss shares. Zach Moss doesn't look too bad at this spot. What's going on with wide receiver? Man, wide receiver gets gross so fast, but I need wide receivers. We will draft Zach Moss. And which wide receiver are we going to add here? It's really gross. I guess I'll take Ruggs. We'll go with that, trying to chase some of these second-year breakouts. I don't know if you guys know, but Ruggs' profile is I prefer it in best ball. Would never want to deal with it in a managed league. Love Ruggs in best ball. Love him. Absolutely love him. Yeah, I could have completed my Matt Ryan stack there. I have a few other stack options now, and I'm just not as concerned about prioritizing capital right now at quarterbacks. I mean, the wide receivers just get bled dry so fast in this room that I feel like we're racing to lock them up before they're all gone. I haven't drafted any Rashad Bateman on my own yet. Probably need to do some more drafts with Pat to ensure I'm getting Rashad Bateman. Oh, yeah, I can't blame you on your Buffalo stack. What did you do here? Where was it? You drafted, so you had Josh Allen, Beasley, okay, and Gabe Davis. Yep. Yeah, I do like Mims. Mims is actually a guy I've drafted a ton, and now I'm trying to balance a little bit. I think I had drafted him. I think he was up there with Michael Thomas as one of my highest owned wide receivers. Am I stopping at 4 running backs? I believe in this build, Christian McCaffrey, ETN, Zach Moss, I believe, yes, I will be at 4 running backs with this build. I could see a scenario where I maybe took 5 if I absolutely love something, but I think right now I'm looking at, 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends, and 4 running backs. So that puts me at 8. I might go 10 wide receivers in this build. That might be what we do here. I guess I could go 9 and 5 if I really like something. I know I could have. Maybe I should have. Am I planning on targeting Josh Palmer with your LA stack? Well, in general, I don't like to make a habit of talking about my sleepers, 5 rounds in advance with all the snipers. Josh Palmer hasn't been on my radar as much. Clearly, I need to read up about him more. I have seen people drafting him, and I get the logic behind it too. We saw last year, there are weeks where, Jalen Guyton and whoever else as kind of a deep threat in that offense can have some production. I think I'll probably add 1 Charger at least, right? I'll be looking at, it would be Jared Cook, Donald Parham, Josh Palmer, Jalen Guyton, probably adding at least one of those guys late. Actually, I'm not going to add a tight end. Yeah, I have 2 tight ends. So yes, I think I probably will be looking at Guyton or Josh Palmer late. Yeah, and I think it's the play almost in general. I think it definitely makes it easier when you get a stud quarterback, tight end, and running back. But yeah, I mean, you can go look at the data that Leone wrote about on ETR. I mean, these 9 and 10 wide receiver builds are the most dominant and being fragile everywhere else. Just making a couple bets on these offenses. Yeah. I mean, the wind sprint knock too. I mean, again, it's our best ball, cliche. Sometimes those wind sprints turn into deep balls, which we like in best ball. But yeah, I mean, and this is normally the debate too over an incumbent versus a rookie. There's the mystery box of the rookie of being able to take over that role. But I mean, what round was Josh Palmer taking it? I think when we look at the draft capital and try to make assumptions on what kind of opportunity he could get, it's probably a thinner bet, but I definitely get the case for taking the stab on the rookie. Let's see, what's KZ doing over here? Triple stacking the Panthers. He had the DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. Ooh, okay. Setting up that stack there. Not too bad. Not too bad. 3rd round. Okay. Yeah, that isn't. For some reason, I thought he was a 4th or 5th round. All right. You guys are warming me up here. Oh, I was going to see if Matt Ryan snuck all the way back to me there. I almost snuck him back, but Sherman wasn't going to let that happen. Do you have Julio? Wow. Now that's interesting, Sherman. Now I'm going to get mad that I got sniped. Okay, let's see here. We need... So I do like Nyheim Hines a lot. I think I'm going to make Nyheim Hines my 4th running back. It allows me to go that direction with the Colts. And, actually, no. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go Paris Campbell and Carson Wentz. We're just going to lock up this stack. And there's my double stack now that the Matt Ryan dream is done. Who were the other quarterbacks? So for Sherman there, I think as my second quarterback, if I was Sherman personally, and I'm not just saying this because I got sniped, I would rather have Tua to go with Waddle than an unstacked Matt Ryan. I think that's just would be my preference in that build. Yeah, it would have been an insane fall if I would have gotten Matt Ryan there, especially after there were multiple rounds that I passed on him. I thought I might get away with it. What's up, Francis? Just joined the Discord. How do I level up to the Miami Vice color theme? So if you're watching right there, next to the subscribe button, there's a join button, and you become a VIP on the channel. And then you go into your Discord settings. On the community tab, there's instructions, but you can message me. It's basically just adding your YouTube account to your Discord, and then it will unlock those channels. So the channels that are locked, there's a club VIP channel in there with a bunch of the club Top Shot guys, and then there's the randomizer channel as well. If you get the club Top Shot membership, you have access to the randomizer channel as well. But of course, it's all about the Miami Vice color theme. They actually change based on how long you have been a member. I think there's like 6 different levels there. I might have to make the Miami Vice one the in-boss tier, because that is a very cool color for the VIPs. Let's check in on some other builds here. Wow, Willis. Since when are you guys trying to be kind to me with my stacks? Let's see what Sam says here. My logic is I wanted a safer QB to go with Justin Fields, who might not start for a bit. Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm still just in general, I want stacks with my QBs. I guess it gets a little, did Gage already go? It just gets, Matt Ryan isn't the kind of quarterback I want unstacked, because he's not going to give you rushing upside. And so if he's really pushing you in the playoffs, it's going to be through lots of touchdowns. So that would be my only criticism of an unstacked Matt Ryan. But I get the safety thing and biding your time if Justin Fields isn't starting. Nick, you can see it. If you're a VIP, I see your thing. You'll be able to see it. But yeah, if you haven't hooked up your YouTube settings to the Discord, it doesn't know. So in the community tab, there's instructions on how to connect that, or you can just message me and I'll help you out. Let's see. Kyle, what's your team name? You drafted the Tennessee and Washington double power stacks. Oh, you're Epic Daddy, I assume here. Yep. So you have the AJ Brown, you have Curtis Samuel, Ryan Tannehill, Ferkser, and the Ryan Fitzpatrick. Who's the other Washington? Oh, and McLaurin. Very nice. I like that a lot. Yeah, I was saying the other day, I want more Tannehill and Titan stacks, but I always forget about the Titans if I don't draft AJ Brown or Derrick Henry. Even though I still think that should totally be in play for you in the late rounds, even if you miss out on those 2 guys, I think it's still, you could draft Tannehill, you could draft Ferkser, you could then toss in a Darrington Evans, a Josh Reynolds, Des Fitzpatrick, and just go a skinny stack with those guys. I think that's completely viable. I very much agree with this in these best ball manias. I mean, it's we're all gunning for first. We should be embracing the upside, the uncertainty, all of that good stuff with our builds. It's tough though. We are wired probably as human beings to want to enjoy staring at our starting lineup. You know, we want to feel good about it after we draft, but the truth is it's probably not a great lineup if it just gives you all the warm, fuzzy feelings. If there's not some uncertainty, some, top 2 percentile outcomes you need for the lineup to be good, probably doesn't have the makeup of being a winning best ball mania team. Yeah, I don't have a ton of Curtis Samuel yet, but that's not because I don't like him. It's weird. I need to get a certain amount of points where I've seen like every pocket of the draft, depending on your draft position and dependent on your structural strategy. There's some pockets of players that you just never find yourself in. And Curtis Samuel is one of those for me. And I don't have a ton of Terry McLaurin yet either. All right, I need to head to the board and see what I'm doing here. I can't be as nonchalant about stuff now. So I'm good on tight end. I'm good on quarterback. We're in the just running back and wide receiver zone now. Let's see here. I don't look at all of the top available by rank are all running backs. Wide receiver got gross. It really got gross. I might just have to grab my fourth running back here just because the values are so much better. I also need to put my Chargers in the queue here, lest you guys snipe me. Yeah, man, they really do. Interesting, Alejandro. I thought for sure, I get it with your build. I'm very happy to take Devin Singletary here. I thought with your Bills build that you might go there, but I see you were already kind of probably done at running back. But man, another guy where I feel like the pendulum has just swung way too far in the other direction is Devin Singletary. I mean, he was going in what, mid-5th, early 6th last year. Now he's going in the 15th round. That seems way too late for Devin Singletary. So I will shit. I took God damn it. I took Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, which is fine, I think, at that cost, but not what I wanted to do. God damn it. I really don't like that. And now I need to draft a wide receiver. I'll take Slayton because he's fucking top of the queue and I'm tilting. Yes, and now I have 3 round 7 buys. I fell in love with the Devin Singletary value and then completely forgot I had already taken Jack Moss. I'm actually not worried about the buy stuff because whatever. I mean, when you look at the Best Ball Mania teams last year, like my team that finished 5th in the $5 one, I had weeks where I was getting 2 and 3 points from my second running back. That said, the mistake is the Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. It's still insane though. His ADP at 144, but another classic Pete blunder on the Best Ball Mania stream. Corey, don't try to spin taking 4 running backs into taking 4 quarterbacks. Yes. What a disaster. What a disaster. Now I have to make the decision if I want to draft a 5th running back or keep with my 10 wide receivers here. I might go 9 wide receivers and 5 running backs just because so many of the values too are the running backs. It really is gross. I add in wide receivers here. Look at this. I add in wide receivers to the queue and not a single one cracks the top ranks. These are ETR's ranks. The moral of the story, folks, get your wide receivers early. Yes. I promise you this stream is not EV. There's 11 people in here who are thinking about best ball all the time. Based on some of the other drafts I've been in, there are way better EV spots than being in a morning draft with all of you guys. I will draft Matt Breida just to own the libs. Robust Bills RB. I'm trying to debate if I want to actually try to make a case for this. I will absolutely say I regret doing it. That said, when you get both of them that far out of ADP and they're essentially playing the way the Bills kind of use them as interchangeably, I don't hate it. Again, I would not do it, but if you're getting Zach Moss 25 picks after ADP, Devin Singletary 20 picks out of ADP on a team that's going to score a lot of points, I don't think it's disastrous. I honestly don't. ETRs pump RBs up a bit to account for ADP, can alter a bit to account for wide receiver heavy room. Yeah, I don't draft exclusively off their rankings. I'm definitely making more decisions structurally, but I do think it's nice to compare ranks to ADP and having it kind of be a fluid thing. I know I think they bumped up running backs a lot in the early rounds last year too, because there was so much running back thirst. I don't know if that's the way to do it necessarily, because then you run into that problem I was talking about earlier where everyone's chasing running backs and you're just getting a lesser version of what the people in the 101 through the 105 drafted. So now you have a similar structure as them, but players that aren't as good. So I don't know. I think you have to make people pay when they're reaching for the running backs that aren't the bell cows by drafting the elite wide receivers. I think that's the only way to fight back against the randomization of where you end up in the draft. Do I have my Josh Palmer here, or did someone take him? All right, Josh Palmer's here, so we can take him. What other wide receivers are here? Do we have any other teams that we can go concentrated on here? Let's see. Atlanta, Chargers, Indianapolis, Las Vegas. Not a lot of teams I can continue to stack here. Let's see. Let's see here. What is the chat saying here? I guess I will just grab my week 7 buys are pretty bad. Let's go with we'll take Des Fitzpatrick. Another rookie here, trying to chase some rookie breakouts. Definitely some targets available there in Tennessee. I couldn't help it. I took Jeff Wilson from my stack. It seems like there's a 49er running back available at every portion of the draft. There's always a 49er running back you can draft. Oh yeah, I'm very well aware that I can take picks over. Just like I just did. I took multiple wide receivers well ahead of the running backs. I'm almost always drafting based on my structure more. Structure, the first part of the dichotomous key, and then the second part player specific. I legitimately don't know. Should we look this up? Is Golden Tate on a team? Free agent. Currently a free agent. We learn something every day. Yeah, man, I don't know what it is. I'm having a hard time like buying the Trey Sermon and Michael Carter hype based on where they're going. I feel like I agree. I feel like Mostert and Jeff Wilson are still going to be very involved. I feel like Tevin Coleman is going to be very involved. Again, I get the mystery box running back. I get even making the case that they're the most talented guys in the backfield, but there's nothing with those guys at draft capital that guarantees they're going to get a bunch of touches right out of the gate. And I just feel like a lot of the upside is priced into their current ADPs right now. You will be guaranteed a 0-1 week at RB. Yeah, I know that. I was just talking about that earlier. I had a team that finished 5th last year that had multiple weeks where my second running back scored 2 points. I would say, based on reviewing the stuff last year, that RB2 is probably the least important thing in your active roster. And again, it's not ideal. I wish I didn't have it, but it's not having 1 week where I don't have a RB2 points isn't a death knell. I can decide here if I want to take a 5th running back or if there's a wide receiver I like. The problem is there's probably not even a wide receiver I like. I don't really have much else in the way of stacks that I need to complete, unless anyone has a deep flyer on the Colts that I'm not thinking of. Wow. Pete, you are no Peter Jennings. This is very true. And you are a bad chess player. This is also true. I don't think those things are surprising to anyone, Matt. Thank you. Thank you. I've been pretty transparent about both of those, that I'm not Peter Jennings. I did think about changing my handle to CSU Ram 89 to try to confuse people, but ultimately I didn't think it would work. Kyle Granson at tight end. I know I was thinking about the tight end route, but I really don't want to go 3 tight ends with Andrews and Pitts. Who's Tyron Johnson? Am I going to learn a new player today? Okay. That might not be bad. Who is Tyron Johnson? Los Angeles Chargers wide receiver Tyron Johnson could see an uptick in value in week 16. I don't know if I might just take a 5th running back. There's still some nice options here. I think I know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to take a 5th running back. I'm going to find a week 7 bye, Justin Jackson. There we go. That's what we do. Another running back with a week 7 bye. I think that's the GTO strategy. Yeah, it's now coming back to me. I don't think I put him in any of my DFS lineups, but it's coming back. Gainwell, that's not bad. I have a guy here. I have a guy. I'm not taking Chuba. I will not take Chuba. Didn't he already go? Pretty sure Chuba Hubbard already went. I have 2 guys here. Oh no, Chuba's right here. My bad. Yeah, I'm not taking him. I think I like either Darrington Evans or Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman. So I wanted to go Evans just because I was making a slight bet on Tennessee already. But Tevin Coleman, guys, going in the last pick of the draft is legitimately criminal. He's going to be their starting running back week 1. I don't get why he's going there. I honestly don't. Should we look at these teams here? We can go through. Who wants their team reviewed? I think I lost the board already. I think I lost it. Who wants their team reviewed? So I went here with my skinny quarterback and tight end strat: Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts, Justin Herbert, Carson Wentz. I'm completely fine with that. I have the double stack or triple stack for Herbert: Keenan, Mike Williams, and Josh Palmer. Carson Wentz, I have the I believe it's just Paris Campbell with him. Oh, and Pittman. So I have the double stack there. I have Ridley and Pitts. I have my 2 Buffalo Bills running backs. And yeah, I feel good about most of this here. I feel decent about this overall structure. Who wants the team? All right, we won't do yours, Willis. Harbs, are you Sniper? Oh yeah, you're Sniper. I forgot about that. I knew you were in here. It's hard to keep track of all of your guys' usernames across multiple platforms: Twitter, Discord, Google. Sniper, Hurts and Rodgers. think that's a good quarterback combo. There's my guy, Mike Davis, who we've talked about it more than any player on this stream. So nice. Okay. I know Harbs has a stomach for these 0 RB builds. Mike Davis, Kareem Hunt, Chase Edmonds, AJ Dillon, Alexander Madison. I mean, if you're going 0 RB, that's the way to do it. That's the kind of types of players to do it. Diggs, Adams, A-Rob, Robert Woods, Rager, MVS, Lazard, Fulgham. Got all of the stacks in there with the Packers triple stack there. Oh, the super stack too with Tunyon, Jonnu Smith, Zach Ertz. Yeah, I like this structure. I don't know about the third tight end there with Zach Ertz. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with him. It doesn't seem like he's going to be on the Eagles. I guess that's not too bad of a flyer. But I like this construction overall. Let's see. Chris posted the board. Yeah, I do like seeing the board. It's actually easier for the team reviews, I think, to look at them here. Let's see. Francis saying, I'm in another slow draft where I might have Kyler, Chase, D-Hop, AJ Green, Rondell, and then Tua Fuller. How far is too far to stack? I think that's about where you'd want to be. I think when you are drafting someone from the Cowboys, the Cardinals, one of those offenses that we expect to be, top 3, 4 in the league, I think you can justify the super stacks. I think once you get to teams more like the Dolphins, who we might not expect to score that many points, this might be pushing it. I would maybe want to step off the gas there with a double stack is I think how I would prefer. I would say that's too much for the Dolphins, but with Kyler, with a triple stack and then Chase, I think that's fine on the Cardinals. Let's see. Let's look at, Casey then did the all on Dallas stack here, which Dallas is definitely a team where you can justify that. So he went Dak and Sam Darnold, and he got the double stacks there. So he has the CD, the Gallup, and Jarwin, and Ezekiel Elliott. And then with the Cardinals, Carolina, he has Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. And I mean, I love that double stack with those guys. Running backs look good. Zeke, Jones, Pollard, Latavius, Nyheim Hines. I would say maybe the only thing I might have done differently with this build, I might have gone 4 running backs, 3 tight ends. Just because I feel like Zeke, Jones, Pollard, Latavius is a good enough crew to roll with 4. And then Jarwin and Hooper feels a little thin at tight end to the point I might want one more bullet there. That would be my only thing, because we also just don't know how this Jarwin thing's going to shake out with Schultz and all of that. And then you could just be relying on Austin Hooper in that case. So I don't know, maybe one more tight end, but I like going all in on the Cowboys there. Who else? Oh yeah, the Zeke and Pollard was interesting. Yeah, you guys all crushing me for Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. Yeah, another one where I wouldn't go out of my way to do that. It looks like he got him, 10 picks after. Yeah, probably. I now see why you did the 5th running back like me, because you had 2 from the Cowboys. I didn't catch that initially. Let's see here. I'm at the 2 and did Niners Bills. Let's check out Alejandro. Oh yeah. So this was the Josh Allen, Trey Lance. You have Josh Allen to Cole Beasley and Gabriel Davis. You have Trey Lance with Jeff Wilson, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and Kittle. Man, I love the 49ers super stack there. I love it. Lance, Ayuk, Samuel, and Kittle. That's sick. Oh, and you toss in Dawson Knox. I think that's definitely the way to play it when you get Kittle. Complete your stack and not spend a lot else there. Cook, CEH, Fournette, Kenyon Drake, Jeff Wilson. Probably another one where you could have justified only going 4 running backs. I think Cook, CEH, Fournette, Drake is a solid enough one to just go 4 there. Could have tacked on an extra wide receiver, a tight end, but I like that build. Chris, there's normally not a lot to destroy on your teams. Your teams are generally pretty good from what I've seen. Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. You do get the Dak or DK stack and Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett's one of my favorite picks right now, although it does look like you had to reach for him a little bit to complete that stack, which does happen with Seattle, because it's like if you don't get the double with Tyler Lockett and DK, then you are having to really lock up Everett, unless you're like a huge Dwayne Eskridge fan. Kamara, Swift, J.K. Dobbins, Sermon. I think that's definitely the way to do it when you use 3 running backs early. Honestly, I would have maybe waited longer to get your 4th running back, just because with these 3, then using also pick 77 on a running back, I feel like you can tell in your wide receiver core, it drops off pretty fast. I think I would have preferred to have a wide receiver at pick 77 and then, swap out when we saw all that running back value late. That would probably be the only tweak I make there. What if Jimmy G never leaves the field? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When we say these lineups have to tell a story, right? You build a team planning for one certain outcome. If Trey Lance doesn't end up starting until week 8, well, that team's already done. But if Trey Lance sees the field right out of the gate and is really good, then you're probably in contention. Do you construct roster differently for 12-team versus Best Ball Mania? So I'd like to say I do. We've seen this play out in our drafts when we've done private drafts like we did on Ship Chasing the other night, which, by the way, if you guys haven't subscribed to Ship Chasing, that's a show I do on another YouTube channel with my buddy Pat Carrain and Ben Gretsch, more focused on high stakes season-long fantasy football. But we did a best ball draft the other week and we were all in the 12 team. And I think we're also wired from doing the Best Ball Mania that we're all looking to get our double stacks, our triple stacks, all of that. I do not think you need to be stacking near as much in a 12 team. I think still getting like a single stack, if you have the Diggs to Josh Allen, that stuff is fine. But I think super stacking in a 12-man league is just almost completely unnecessary. It's just so different when you're having to beat out 11 people versus, thousands and thousands of people. And the stacking is just opening yourself up to more variance. So yeah, I think in general, you should be building your 12-team leagues different. Let's see. Thank you, Harbs. Yeah, I think you guys, if you guys haven't checked it out, I think you guys would enjoy Ship Chasing. I know a lot of you guys already watch it. My guy, Eric Belair, running the Twitter account. You can follow it at Ship Chasing. We're every Wednesday night at 9:15 Eastern. We've been doing some best ball drafts now. We're going to start doing some high stakes season-long drafts as well. So that is going to be super fun. We're going to have more announcements about that soon, but excited to get back in those season-long streets as well. All right, we'll do one more review here before we hit the road. Oh, also one other plug. I'm doing a show at 1 p.m. today with Dan Barbarisi, who wrote this incredible book, Chasing the Thrill. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's about Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt that he hid somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. And Dan Barbarisi, who wrote a book about DFS a few years ago called Dueling with Kings, and the guy who mentored him, Beep I'm a Jeep, who's Jay Rayner, known as one of the better DFS players, although I don't think he's playing as much anymore. But they got obsessed with this treasure hunt. And so this book chronicles their adventures looking for this treasure. And I blew through it in like 3 days. It's a very fun book, but I think you guys will enjoy listening to me talk to Dan Barbarisi about that treasure hunt today. So you guys can check that out at 1 p.m. here. All right, let's look at DFS Texas, and then we will get on the road. All right, Tom Brady and Baker Mayfield gets the Chris Godwin stack here and adds in Scotty Miller. I love the Baker Mayfield. We were talking about this earlier. Odell and Landry, both very affordable here. Gets that double stack. What else do we have going at running back? Oh, and you throw in Chubb there too. Akers, Chubb, Carson, McKissick. So this is that hyper fragile build. I think this is more like what we were talking about with Chris's roster, where he grabbed the 3 early and then waited a lot longer to grab that 4th running back. I guess the only thing I would maybe say is if I have 3 locked and loaded running backs, I might swing for them fences more with my 4th pick. Whereas McKissick is giving you more of a floor. I think in general, I like guys like McKissick more in 0 RB builds because you just need the baseline of points. Whereas in this one, I might rather go pure handcuff. Like I think I'd rather have, the Darrington Evans, the Savon Ahmed types, just knowing if things break right, they could become a bell cow where we know McKissick isn't going to. So that might be my only criticism about running backs. Tight end, it's not the strongest, but I still prefer only using 2 there if necessary. I think Higbee and Cook is fine. And then great wide receiver crew here. You got the double stacks, some other good players mixed in here: Claypool, Rondell Moore, Perriman, Crowder, Higgins, Scott Miller. Looks like a good structure there. Yeah. Thank you, KZ. Yeah, no, I love doing this. I think our schedule next week is going to be a little different because next week is Memorial Day. I don't think I will be at my computer Monday morning, but maybe we'll bump it to Tuesday morning to try to keep the Best Ball Mania rolling. So we'll check in with all of you guys after the Memorial Day weekend, which I hope you guys all have a great time. Usual plugs. We got the Barbarisi interview, Club Top Shot on Tuesdays. We got lulls and ship chasing on Wednesday. Thursday, we have randomizer draft. Andy Holloway is going to be joining me from the Fantasy Footballers. That will be very fun. And then we'll take a little break for Memorial Day weekend, be back on Tuesday. And if you guys have yet to sign up for Underdog Fantasy, $25 bonus cash for first-time depositors. Use promo code Pete. Have a great week, guys. We will see you around. Thank you.